when you live on this one, what did when you swat? And the way you are. Oh, no, yeah. I want you are getting what you are. What the fear? Yes, I'm a telling fear. What can I get you are? So the fear. Never get so what did when you get so what can I go? I'm on my channel. I said, no, what do what I get that's my desire. Well, now when they get swap, that's my desire. When Johnny take a swap, I get swap, and then I go. Oh no, oh no, oh no. This is take a swap, oh no, oh no. Oh, you will do swap. You will not deserve my praise. You will. Oh my God. Ah, you will do swap. We will worship you on the day of my life. Here we are. It's like
Okay, just bear with us here. Good evening to want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. I am your host here this evening. I'm Afonso Zienso of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. We say good to have you here. Mr. Kroma is in the house. Abraham Smart, Vinicius, Rebecca Tyler. How you doing? Good evening to Ruben, Kroma, and all of our great folks. If this is the first time, we say you are wholeheartedly welcome. You are on the official news outlet of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV, Diaspora Informative News Magazine. We want to welcome you this evening, as usual, here at Wednesday. It's All Things Considered. All Things Considered focuses on major news, making headline inside Liberia. As you know, the politics in Liberia, by the way, we are getting some yet to confirm, but I will did speak with some of our sister network, heavily police, with here is security presence at the Vermont house. We yet do not know why, the essence of that. We're still working out our sources to get over him, but as you know, it's extremely, it's very, very late, early morning hour in the West African state of the Republic of Liberia. I'm not sure whether this is in correlation with the briefing today by the police IG. We want to be coming to that and some of the news making headline. But as you know, all things considered, is suited perfectly to give you the voice to speak on things that matters to you that we don't talk about here on this network. And ultimately, you will have the ability to talk about it. I am Alfonso Ziensot right here this evening. Welcome to the show. And let's take this quick break. For some reason, I found myself in a different terrain here this evening. But let's take a quick commercial break and I'll be right back.
Welcome to Fiber Queen of Woodland. Everyone that's looking for a nice African for wedding, whatever fiber you need, you can just come over here. You have all this nice stuff. If you need a Chevy, you guys can come over here for baby shower, for wedding. You guys are welcome. She have really nice stuff. You can see all over there, all those men over here. You don't have to go to the theater and then they're going to be telling you all kind of stories. You can just come here. They're already made. And for ladies, you can just look for whatever fiber you're looking for and match it for the men. And, your husband already have a shirt made. You can get stuff for your kids. You can get stuff for the whole family. We have African slippers and Ashobi hand ties all over. We have different kinds of lists and everything. So you guys are welcome, okay? It's really nice. It's Fiber Queen on 6695 off of Woodland. 6625 Woodland Avenue, okay? So you guys are welcome, 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 welcome. You have nice stuff here for ladies, for men, for kids, and for everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Fabric Queen of Philadelphia. Fabric Queen of Philadelphia is 100% African-owned business. At Fabric Queen, we are specialized in high-quality wax product, Swiss lace, jewelry, and beauty products that will make you shine like the queen of fabrics. We are located at 6625 on Woodland Avenue, 10 Philadelphia. Telephone number 215-800-0228. Tell the management of Fabrics Queens in Philadelphia is easy and sold on the Liberia Public Radio gives you this message. Tell all Akwaba.
Good evening. Welcome. I'm Alfonso Ziensot of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. Today is Wednesday. All things considered, the analysts going to be here to scramble on news making headline. By the way, the list is up. My top co-host who will be on a break is here. And tonight, right away, you're going to have a classical conversations, a conversations where it will be balanced, people's voices will be heard. No one going to sanction your voice because you are not one of them, because you do not support specific person, because you as a Liberian try to speak and exercise your free will, and you have the liberal wing, very extreme wing of this network, led by Samson Toll and his conspirators, always in the business of sanctioning voices. That's not what we do here. This is LPR. We allow people to speak to their leader in whatever context, as long as they are speaking out of their guts. And so we say good evening, welcome to Going to do, good to have you. McCarthy Johnson, good evening to Millard Kekula, Lasanan Kamara. Let me bring in Dr. Mally Jones. Lot is unfolding here. So should we go black or we go yellow? Are you hearing me?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good. Should we go? Let me see here. I don't know where you go. What? Go. This is the liberals. I'm an IE guy, but I'm not sure. Is it okay or we go black?
It's okay.
Okay, it's okay. Once it's okay with you, Liberal, I'm not going to suggest anything. Good evening, Dr. Mali. Good to have you here. Good, happy Wednesday. I like that maroon. It's one of my favorite colored navy blue and stuff like that. It's quite great. So I love that suit this evening. Esther, good evening. Good to have you. Venetia, good to have you. You know, this network, we've been suffering here, suffering in the sense that this liberal, his dishonesty, been very disingenuous and trying to drive this network as a network of as a partisan network. This is it's just unbelievable. But again, we have to stand up. We will not give him chance. He can do whatever he wants to do with his follower. We're not giving chance. We will stand for the country. But good evening. Good to have you.
Yeah, thank you, CEO, for welcoming back. And at time we take a little break and see how you can dust around the shoes. And it was one of those little occasions we had to take some little small, short, very fruitful sabbatical leave and try to get some family thing top on the list.
Right.
Well, as God will have it, thank God we are back and back strong and ready to move.
Back stronger. Hey, you know, these guys, they create a conspiracy here. Oh, Dr. Jones gone. In fact, Dr. Jones met with Boyka, and so this is why he toned down. He was in Liberia, and you could see the liberal and his guy, the Reverend Pastor Jeremiah Walker. Terry Collins. They were all here celebrating with the man Boashin. Boashin is in, like, you saw Boashin. Boashin is in Liberia right now.
Oh yeah, I've been following his interview. He's been giving some spectacular interview of late.
Yeah.
And I've been wondering what is the undertone,
Oh man, Dr. John, why would you want to be asking that kind of question? This guy, he is the chairperson of the New England Chair Friends of Joseph Boyka. He works on President Boyka's security detail here. And so when you see him going there, perhaps the 3 a.m. call is already been placed, and he just going in there to do whatever he's supposed to do. But it is what it is. You know, the politics of Liberia. Once you not blow someone trumpet, trust me, you will not be included into the political discourse. You will not be part of the folks in the bear wheel. But for some of us, I think we prefer to stay like this because. You can't tell me what to say, what not to say. And people are given authority, they must be able to exercise their function, but that's not seems to be the case. But good to have you. How was your trip in Liberia, by the way?
Well, the trip in Liberia wasn't that bad. First of all, we want to give thanks and appreciation to the Lord who made it all possible for safe flight to and fro. And we were able to meet some family friends. I went to see my mother, and she's fine. She's in top gear by way of health, and met some family friends. But I think the bottom line here is that it's always good to go back home, It's always good to be in touch with the motherland. Even though news from there may not be as good as we expect it to be, but people are there, they are living, they are surviving. Occasionally, there will be one or two problems, but gradually, we try to get adjusted to this problem. And as a people, it's a sometimes problem. I don't know about other people, but sometimes I think problem come your way to help you brainstorm about future, about other solution, and it also help to consolidate your ability to be steadfast. Because when you leave from here, the notion back home is that, oh, you have come with all the money, you have come with all the goodies, you have come with everything. And so people expect you to deliver per their expectation from family down to friend cycle, a whole lot, So again, I cannot hold these people responsible for the manner in which they approach things, because it's clear, even those who have not come to the United States, they are embedded with our feelings that when you are in the United States, everything is okay. And I don't know to what extent that is true. I know things are okay. I don't know whether everything is okay, because even those of us from who are living in the United States or abroad, we got our own challenges, own problems. Probably the problem varies from one continent to another continent, but we still have our own problem. But all in all, it's just good to be abroad at times, particularly in the United States of America.
Particularly in the United States of America. Why? Why in the United States of America?
Well, that is for three reasons. One, I'm able to have safe drinking water here. I'm able to enjoy uninterrupted electricity here. So those are per my human standard and understanding. I think I see those are miracle as compared to where I come from. I see paved road here, and the abundance of food here. It's like sometimes I fight against what not to eat as compared to back home. You're forced to look for what you want to eat, and you can't
No.
even find it.
Yeah.
So, though with all the goodies beneath there are problem here too. Security problem, racist problem, segregation, So it's like from one continent to another continent, the problem varies at different level with different layers.
Different layers. And of course, the unnecessary siren, endless siren, go they blow in people's ears, almost literally giving you heart attack. There was my last trip to Liberia to right to it's Kelly Junction. Well, Joe Howard, on my portion to CDS St. Joseph Kelly Junction area there.
Mhm.
Church, we are coming from going to time. First of all, coming to where we should be, even in office 8, 9 o'clock. Well, they controls their own time. Okay, sorry, coming presidential, sorry. Pull over, and this guy, security guy came. Where is the street? He want me to throw my car in the ditch. I said, I'm not going there. You see the president comes to us, so what? Look at the lawyer and say, hey, man, I trouble man. I said, where you expect me to park? I pull over. I have done the best I can to get out the way because I want to take the whole street, which is okay. So why you want me to throw my car in the ditch because George, we are coming. Okay, today is all things considered. Freedom is restored on this network. The slavery, the democratic slavery being pushed on this network by the liberals and his ally, but not allowing people in this, and this is why sometimes I wonder because if people sit on platform, people who's supposed to be objective, who's supposed to be the one to inform, to educate, on the other end, they are the one preaching and sending out of all of the red meat, and then we want to frown on government. Interestingly, they get their people that support them as well. But today, let's see. Let me just go in your playbook here. The IG cracked a comment in a major press conference today. I didn't get anything this guy was talking about. I have no idea what he was saying. After 2-3 weeks, and come out to tell us they cannot definitively tell us and moving back and forth. But let's go into your book here. A lot going on here. We say good evening to our first Clarence Davis here. Whatever you want to say, what other call. You see, these are the liberal people then. Here we are in here tonight. The co-host is here. Can you imagine? The liberal has managed to poison these people's mind. You know, and it is so sad. Joyce, good evening. Good to have you here. Ibrahim, Don, good to have you here. And all our folks. You know, Mr. Cromant, Clarence Davis is here. James, Alexander Bonifay. But let's go into your battle is also here. Let's go into your playbook. What's going on this Friday? What's going. You know, I'm getting a message here from my director here to pick up something Friday. So by the time I pick on the thing, I say, what's going on Friday? Okay, so yeah, that's what happened. Plenty of things going on at the same time. I was a message.
Yep.
But okay, let's see here. Wednesday, all things considered, what is on the radar?
I think what is on my radar for tonight is the appointment of the new president, the 16th president of the University of Liberia. And I think it's a great milestone. But I have a few caveats that probably we'll have to dance around tonight. I've been following her activities. I've also been following moving into her profile and try to compare it with her new position and looking at the circumstances under which she's going to take over this office. And three things stand out to me. First, on what basis she has decided to take this office. One. Two, she is an American citizen. And three, I don't know whether they have made an amendment to the charter of the University of Liberia, where, according to sources, you must have attended the university to qualify you as one of those little rules to become president of the university. I don't know whether that is still in the university charter. I don't know yet. I've been doing some research already to find out, but I haven't really arrived at that. But it's one of the strongest thing. And the fourth one is that even Dr. Weeks, who was once president of the university, is taking on this lady very seriously in the media. Yes. And her bone of contention here is there are so many qualified Liberians. And according to the list that were exhausted, I think about 23 or 22 Liberians abroad and at home even apply for this job. And in our list, I have got about 6 of my close buddy on that list. Okay, very good.
22.
Very good, CEO. Okay. So her contention here is that the government is looking down on the relevance of Liberian who should have taken this job, and they're giving the job to an American. That is her bone of contention. But I have my own different take about that.
So it seems to be a divided. I haven't seen what I saw from Dr. Dunn was he said, hey, nothing wrong with it. I mean, she can be, as long as she qualifies, she can occupy that position. So that's a different, but we are in the boycott war. So the unexpected should always come at last here. And it's quite correct because I'm not too worried about that much, but with respect to what you're saying, if that's something it is in their handbook and there's no amendments, there's no, they have not revisited that, and then that's a concern. But as usual, well, you just, you know what, you gotta wait a minute. Why you can't just why you came to just come?
I didn't do anything. I did not do anything.
Okay, you belong downstairs here. The co-host is here, so you have no choice to be what you're supposed to be.
What the co-host wearing Bishop co-host now? You want to take over Terry's job? can bring heavy cross in our office here tonight. Those of us who pray every day.
You can pray. Don't try to interrupt our program here tonight, please. So good to have you.
Welcome, long time, Dr. Mary. I haven't seen you. I hope everything is okay. I hope you're doing fine.
Please elevate your camera.
Mr. So, will you please let me speak to the co-host, Dr. Mary? But how can he need co-host? He got different name on him. They fire him. They run away going over job from one guy. LPR money, LPR CEO fired the course. He run away straight going over job from one guy. But anyway, welcome back. I hope you get a job from one guy. I'm here tonight as a counterweight for both of you. Thank you.
Please adjust your camera. We want to see your face. We don't want you to.
What on my face? Am I face there?
Yeah, just elevate your camera a little bit. If you can't do that, then I will have to put you somewhere until you comply.
All right.
I don't have time to babysit old people who. Okay, there you go. All right, much better. Well, is that? Oh, wait, what are you doing? You wear t-shirt on your coat?
Oh, that's why you want to see? That's why you want to see?
Don't fix yourself, man. You really put up trouble. Yeah, okay, guys. Good to have you here. Look, we have serious problem here. Okay. Liberal, good to have you. Welcome. Greatly tonight. Getting messages, text messages. People gain their freedom, their liberty, to speak their mind about their country, how they feel, and they are happy that you are here as a participant. So obviously, you are completely disabled here tonight. Very limited power. Everything lies with me and my co-host to determine which way this program going to be going, including your conversation.
But you see how I came in. I allow you to bring me in. I'm not disrupting anything. I allow you to talk your stuff. That's why when you come to my show, you are a guest. You know, don't
no, not here. Okay, all right, no, okay, we're not here. We have already spoken. Okay, so guys, let's get a conversation going. One of the most important thing, and I really want to talk about, he's trying to make adjustment. He's going to be back here. Yeah, but why is it a concern to you, Dr. Mali? People will say it's another sign of divisiveness and phobic and all of that. She's not strange though. She's been providing some sort of how you call it? Is that not a consultant? Is something she been involved with the university, or is it still insufficient in your mind?
No, truly speaking, Liberal, welcome, and I want to thank you and the rest of the folks for holding on to the fortress while we were away, and at least you guys kept the platform door open to the world. Libra is on different discussion tonight. Anyway,
he's very juice as usual.
Yeah. To be very frank with you, I'm an institutionalist. I believe in a yardstick that would determine employment. I'd rather don't believe in a side attraction. Or you must be a Liberian, or you're not part of the culture, you have not lived in Liberia before. It's like to get adjusted into the system, it will be a problem. As an institutionalist, I really don't go that direction. I go the direction where first, are you qualified? The benchmark we have set to employ a president for the University of Liberia. Have you met that benchmark? 2, is it in line with the charter of the university? 3, we move into your wealth of experience. Yes, you have got a lot that we need. And lastly, we'll now try to discuss the problems, because she's now between two different worlds. She's coming from a place where academic transparency and accountability is imperative. And she's going to a place where these things are directly or indirectly compromised. So she will be between, she's between two worlds right now. So the question now is, has she prepared herself enough to take on the mantle of the university, to amalgamize what she's taking from here and what is there? Because least we forget, she's going to work, I think, with 2 or 3 deputies who are already entrenched in the system.
You have more than 6 vice presidents.
Okay, good.
Okay, all right. So, okay, let me hold you right there. Just hold your breath. For all to believe with respect, because whatever it is, even if they try to strangulate us, we will treat them with decency and dignity, and I will respect the norms of democracy. So the liberal is here. His reverend, they are all here. I believe in our text, so they are all here. Mr. Collins, good evening. Good to have you here.
Wow, Dr. Mali. So, Mr. So, is that how you can you have to import the doctor after several years of not seeing him? You know, Dr. Mali, you look good, man. As always, welcome back.
No,
and the celebrity.
I think
you see his cross chain wearing.
So has he been converted finally? Because
he's a deacon.
Terry, I think I would like to give you this flower, you man of God. You've been praying for every one of us, despite our dishonesty to appreciate you. But I think your prayer has got some of us where we are today, including the rest of the men of God out there. And so you see me shining is not by my strength, is by the prayer you've been bringing in and the fasting you've been doing that get every one of us shining on this platform, even though there are some hardliners still refuse to believe that God is working for them.
Oh, that is a heavy politics.
I come on every night and pray. The man come to pray. So you know we
Terry,
they are talking about honest prayer.
Let me make one correction here. We all pray, but do we believe in what we're praying for and who we're praying to?
Okay.
You pray your one eyeball open and get juice cup in your hand, and then you say,
you see, Mr. Collins, he's in that direction. And whether or not we like it, he pray every night and read his Bible. We are not talking about the occasional prophets who want to pray when temptation around their building. No, we're not talking about those people. Who want to pray when they get platform to produce some highline issues? Then they come and pray, and we want to be carried away that they are men of God. We're not talking about that category of men of God. We're talking about the real men of God.
Are you targeting the liberal intentionally or indirectly? I don't understand. But your co-host,
I just protecting your office.
Your host said that he's not going to pray. The host, the last night on Liberal Show, said he's not going to fast and pray for anything. You know, in Liberia, the people want to do.
All I need to do is to be humble and tell people to do the right thing. I don't need to pray for them. These people, some of them, I would pray for Mr. White to do the honest thing. He should know. That what makes a leader. No, you're supposed to know what to do. I don't need to pray. He's supposed to be the one to shield all of us. Okay, gentlemen, good evening.
Yeah, I'm just kidding, man.
Yeah, of course. Good evening.
Welcome, Mr. Mali. I highly appreciate your presence today, and you look very, very sharp as always. Thank you.
Thank you, man of God. I
appreciate and the Liberal too. The Liberal and the CEO. Sorry.
Welcome. Thank you.
That all you waiting for territory.
Have you seen the Collins? Have you seen the T-shirt the Liberal is wearing under his coat? Have you viewed it properly?
Oh.
That George wear T-shirt.
2019. Can you imagine? You can't job of black guy and you wear George. We are 2019.
I will not show you. You can say what you want to say. I will not show you.
Okay, gentlemen, let's get to the conversation. Our people are here. That's a little bit entertaining right there. Very little we usually do here. Okay, liberal. We believe in fairness. I say we, Dr. Mallet, myself, we always address it as it should be, and to the best of our people, just how you bring in, that's how we're gonna give you the full. Today is Wednesday. Let's hear you. What's on your table there?
Thank you, CEO and Dr. Mallet. Once again, welcome. Thank you. We really appreciate it. We miss you, and the same way we miss you, Mr. George. Hopefully, you will be joining us here very shortly as well. And Terry, again, thank you very much for coming on again. We love to do this thing here. But I heard conversation when I came in. I heard Dr. Mallet and you were having conversation about the university presidential appointment. But the only thing I'm going to say on that here, and I hope we do not go down the rabbit hole tonight on this, but President Bakai, for me, not that Liberians are not honest, not that Liberians are not wealthy or becoming president of the University of Liberia, or not that Liberians are not educated enough to be president of the Republic of Liberia, but many Liberians was very nice to lead a faculty, to lead a great institution, have failed us miserably. They are corrupt. They don't do anything for the student. They don't do anything for many faculties. They're there to just enrich themselves. And we're seeing it over and over and over. So I think President Baka, by appointing this young lady to say, come and help us, I hope that because from all indication, she thriving here as in the sphere, in the atmosphere of academia and what have you, and she's doing good. But for her to, first of all, for her to even accept the position, there's something in there, and I'm hoping to find out as to what I think, what I believe she's really want to challenge herself. Because to be coming from these type of university, where she's coming from, to go and take a position in Liberia, then she must have serious conversation with herself to say, I seriously want some serious challenge to prove myself that I'm capable of doing X, Y, and Z. So lastly, Mr. So, from my perspective, President Bakai appointment of this lady is to send clear message to all Liberians, specifically those Liberians that are serving in this government, that if it means for me to go outside of Liberia to bring somebody to straighten things up, I will do so. If it means for me to go outside of Liberia to bring somebody that will be able to give us a buck for our money, I will do so. And I bet you this lady that coming, all those 200 vice presidents that are on there, they have to be very careful because she's not coming to play ball. She's coming with a binder on her shoulder, on her arms, where she will have to go by the rules. And another thing, the government itself, President Baka government itself, is also on trial. I would say that because if there's a money allotted to the university in the budget, and that money is siphoning out, or somebody she will blow the hammer. And not only will she blow the hammer, she will resign and make that into an issue for Liberian politicians. So I think appointing this lady from President Baka's perspective, or from President Baka's standpoint, according to me, is a wonderful, wonderful thing. With the PhD, corrupt PhD coming here and there.
Thank you. So good, you are very precise according to you. So as not according to you, you are entitled. Okay, Mr. Collins, let me just bring you.
But I didn't need echo on that one. You know it. I said it, and you should just let it go like that.
Again, tonight I am not going to entertain anything out of the norms of this program tonight. Tonight is not one of those good nights, so just walk a fine line. Mr. Collins,
Yeah, I was looking on the list to see whether Mr. Dr. Mali or Sissy name would be on the list, but I didn't see it. And I felt very disappointed. That was the probably nominated a woman. Yeah, I felt very disappointed. I didn't see the doctor name on it, and he was just in Liberia. But anyway, yeah, you
That
guys
was
are
not
seeing.
from Louva County. I keep telling you, well, I don't want to believe me. I don't know.
oh, so you see, now you agree with me that this government, what to do? Okay, but go ahead.
Yeah, so my attention is actually drawn to the IG today, this press conference that he had concerning the burning of the Capitol. You know, I thought that his press conference was not bad, but there was some cues that really took my attention. Their fire director, I don't know how they can call them in Liberia. He said something that was strange. He said, I know he observed that it was assault and not electrical fault. So if the investigation is maybe 98% or 90% whatsoever already almost concluded, then why did he use the word observe? I don't know. I thought that was something that was a coup. That was something to look at, because if you say that the investigation is in fact almost done, then why are you using the word you observe, or there's your observation? So I was kind of confused. Maybe somebody from the security area got to help us here tonight to give us understanding that whether if an investigation can be already almost finished and people still be looking at observation instead of facts or evidences to prove that this is what we have derived at, that it is justified, because this RG said, I can definitively now say that it was caused by assault. But the fire service man is still saying by observation. I think if you can play that video to listen to what he said, I think
Okay.
that was, that was the cue that I got from there that really make me to be uneasy, even though, it's a contradiction between his statement and the RG statement. So I saw the level of contradiction right there that was making me kind of skeptical as to what is really going on. And he got on the podium, and his body language did not signal a person with confidence that he was in charge of what he was trying to present. It's like he was cut off from what he was actually trying to propound on. And I really did not like that approach. I didn't feel that it was convincing enough. Yeah.
Okay, look, Terry, I mean, I hope, and you really strike a very, very key point here, because your guy, Liberal right now, he's burning with him because he would never want to mention that. But having said that, for us here, the independents would like to be illustrative of our conversation so that people will see, because although our guys are all there and the videos are, but let's just give you an essence of that, and perhaps it might be in that. This is LPR, keeping it fair, balanced, and proportional.
To all. Indeed, our God, Yahweh. Let me first begin by apologizing for the delay, but it's better late.
Let me see. Let me switch and turn to this one here, but we'll not be there. But let's see what happens.
Brief the press on the situation.
Good afternoon to all. Indeed, our God Yahweh is real. Let me first begin by apologizing for the delay, but it's better late than to have inconsistencies in our briefing. So we had to make sure that we gather more pieces of information to accurately inform the public as to where we are. We are very much aware of the eagerness in the general public to hear about developments as far as the fire situation at the Capitol building is concerned. Like the Chief of Press and Public Affairs noted, I'm joined here today by the Director General of the Liberia National Fire Service. When this incident occurred, we announced earlier that there will be joint investigation by the Joint Security of the Republic of Liberia. That have now fallen short. The investigations are underway. The Joint Security is working tirelessly to ensure that we give the Liberian people some answers to what has happened in the nation. At this point in time, I think it's only fair for us to brief as to how far we are. If you all could recall, over the last few press conferences or briefings that we've had, I've been very, very clear on my words. I've minced my words as far as calling the situation at the Capitol and arson and told you all that we're still investigating, and we're looking at, even though there were elements pointing towards that, we could not with all definitive say that it was an arson. Today, January 8th, at this point in time, I'm here to officially inform the nation that we have sufficient evidence to call the act at the Capitol an act of arson. The Chief of Fire Service is here. He will throw some light on it, and then I will also follow up on some briefings as per the establishment of motive and intent and possible collaborator, conspirators, and executioners of this horrific incident at the Capitol, which is very disturbing to the nation, and that the people are eagerly waiting to hear from us where we are. Honorable, if you want to say a few words, and then I can continue from there.
Thank you, Arjun. Good afternoon. Asking why we are asking. When it comes to investigation, there are a lot of things involved. Take your time to go. Through it so that we can get the facts out. Like you said, we have almost at the point of conclusion, and from our observation and capability, there were flammable substance used to allow the cause of fire there. And so indeed, like you said, the funnel will be out. We just want to briefly let you know that from our observation, flammable substance used that caused the fire at the Capitol building.
Thank you.
So let me get this here, guys. Are trying to do it. Terry, the fire chief, was he afraid to mount the podium?
That's why his body language is not convincing to me.
This is one of the worst press briefing ever by the IG for you to come here. We didn't get anything after 3 weeks, literally a month. and you are definitive and you can't tell. But you know, this is an annoying part of some of our colleagues, and I will give it to you guys because the fire chief was very definitive, flammable. So something that causes to have the propensity to cause fire and stuff. And nobody asks a follow-up question as far as what I listen to, you know, because they've got to push these people. They don't just go stand to the podium and talk and then people walk away, even including the IG. Now you are definitive, you are 100% sure now, and you did not produce any suspect, no one. So what is the hidden thing about? Ketot, good evening. Welcome to the program. Let's have this conversation. What that caught your attention first, Terry?
Yeah, because when I listened to the video, the body language was kind of confusing to me. And look at him. He said, and like the way he keep looking at the chief. So like he's not in control of what he want to say, you know? And that is kind of I don't know how to put it, but I think Gregory did a good job. He came out, he was open, he was energetic, he was to the issue, to the point. But the fire chief does not look like he was in charge of the situation. And then he started using words like observation. So you already finished almost with the investigation. You're not talking about the facts. You're not talking about evidence. You're talking about observation. So I don't understand if maybe security minds, the security minds we have on the network here, if some of them can come on the show tonight to give us information, because on what is that, how they see that would be fine to help us get out of this tonight. But you know, I still believe in the IG position and his statements, but the only person I was not satisfied with is with the fire director.
So if the IG is confident, and I'm going to bring you guys, is confident and that he has come to the conclusion, which is not a surprise because it was this narrative driven by his boss. And so what he's done from the beginning, this IG began the process to validate the argument of his boss. Who is the boss? The president. And so that itself contaminates the investigations. And I say on this network over and over, that Capitol building was completely sealed up by the Liberian National Police, the Joint Security, to the extent that some other lawmakers were alienated from entering that building. The IG did not tell us where the infiltration came from, where people passed to enter that building. He never told us if men that were on guard. There was no any suspension. There was no any investigation called in. So what the hell? How these people entered that building? If that building was sealed or was locked up to prevent people from going in there, and all we saw on the next morning, it burst into flame. That building, when the fire got there, you know, we saw the images. It was swarmed with the entire seat of government. Crime scene is already being contaminated, it's being compromised. And for he to come us today, people were called in as people of interest. What are those people has been vindicated? We yet to know. But he came back to this to tell us that he's convinced now. And yet he cannot tell the Liberian people, he cannot tell you, he cannot tell me, neither the liberal who supports him, to say these are people that we have in custody based on SYZ. This was the IG that was calling for help. So what is the scientific method used now? What do we have? People that are involved that we can prove to. Let me just bring in Dr. Jones. Dr. Jones.
Yep.
You know, the news is such a thing that what happens is where the news pivots. I know you say stuff with respect to the university, definitely will come to it. But this seems to be a very serious thing. And we are getting unconfirmed reports that the movement facility is heavily been, the presence of security there tonight is very, very huge. We do not know exactly what is according to my guy with Sky FM, and our guy Mike Dan has also confirmed it, even though we do not have images, we do not know what is all for. Hopefully by tomorrow we'll get to know. But I believe you listened to the press briefing by the IG today.
Oh yes, I even read the IG story in one of the dailies today. But I think this government is on record for a normal inconsistency when it comes to report or deliverable from a report. That's the first thing. Two, I really did not see the relevance of the IG and the fire chief coming to the Liberian people today. I don't know what we really got in this thing here. I don't know. We were
Absolutely.
waiting for a final results. All right. Now I'm beginning to think that there's a need for the investigator to be investigated as well.
Right.
And I'm saying this because the investigators were the one providing security for this complex. All right. And at what point now this building just got on fire? Now they have already implicated themselves that it was not electricity problem. So when you use the word arson, someone has to be responsible.
Right.
And they
Deliberately.
want to produce those people. I think that is the core of the matter now. They are using the word they observe. They might have had some facts on their hands to tell us definitively that this building was engulfed in fire because someone went there to do something. But again, security was delegated to this group to mind this building owing to the friction that was going on. Where were they when the building got on fire? So after this investigation, I think the police will need a third party to also investigate the police as well. Because I doubt it whether they will include themselves into the investigation. I doubt it.
Right. Okay. And those apprehensions, what I'm thinking, no suspensions. We don't know how many men were in taking as a security. Mr. Number, good to have you. Good evening. Welcome. So let me bring in the liberal, and I'm going to come to you. Liberal, and I in agreement with Dr. Mali, nothing I got from the IG, not to mention the fire chief who was very nervous. He could not look in the eyes of the camera to tell people exactly, but to tell us 98%. If anything is 98%, then you have to be illustrative to tell exactly the probable cause. But for you to tell us 98% and then you go back, very soon we will come back. Why should you people treat Liberia and do these things that you continue to do to our country? If these people, I don't want anybody, Capitol building is our proud. And no one, it can be who, should on purpose, using the word of the police chief, Alston, which is a deliberate act to set ablaze. And these people, they're telling us, they're talking to people, and they must report themselves. If they do not report, they will be arrested. Are you serious? What's going on in Liberia? The liberal.
Thank you, Mr. So I also been following this particular news. However, I'm going to come at it from a different perspective. I do trust that this government and this IG would do a thorough investigation and report thoroughly, factually, to the Liberian people. However, Mr. So, please have somebody else take it for me for now. I'll be back. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Maybe your guys calling you. They don't want you to answer my question. Yeah, he knows. You see, he's talking, sounding like a little baby. So he's very uncomfortable. I know the liberal. He has purpose. He called his own number to kind of give a thought process before he can come back and start talking his taba. He called his own number. He talking about people calling. We know how we can operate. Okay, Mr. Nangwe, good to have you. Let me bring in Keto Gadia first. Keto, look, I'm quite sure you are a news freak like myself. I don't know whether you got anything from the briefing today. It's another waste of time, waste of government resources, because the more you transition security apparatus from one place to another, operational cost, finances is all involved. They come, they give her a little piece of cookies. Some of us get too A, we don't eat too much of sweet again. And they're telling us 98%, yet they cannot tell us that someone is being apprehended, and the Liberian people deserve to know what is going on. They're waiting for the balance 2%. Can you imagine?
So I would like to say hi to all the panelists. Mr. Victor, nice to see you again.
Same here,
So
brother.
yeah, so I think I followed the interview today, and I was wondering whether the police and the fire chief, whether they got the same function. I'm thinking whether Gregory Coleman went to school to be a firefighter, to be able to investigate um what will cause a certain kind of fire, whether it will be arsenal, whether it will be electrical. I don't know, because when he was telling the Liberian people the different narrative about the fire, the flame, the smoke, and the accelerant, and this, that, and the other one, we didn't hear it from the fire chief. At least if you are making reference to the fire chief, according to the fire department, the investigator, and it came out to say it was it was arsenal, because they saw accelerant, and the accelerant was used. Maybe they found some of the cans around, because they say well multiple places that the fire started from, and maybe they saw fire. I mean, cans with, it could be gasoline with fuel, whatever. None of those things. He just came out when the fire chief saying they observed. What was the observation? It was not made clear, but the police director came and gave his own narrative of the crime scene, the alleged crime scene. And I think he didn't do the Liberian people justice. The fact of the matter, his boss, from the get-go, when the place was already on fire, President Bwaka went there when that place was on fire. There was no fire service or personnel could sit in there and do investigation, because that place was of inferno. It was hot. After they cut the fire oil, it was still hot. So they have to wait, secure the crime scene. If there was a crime scene, go in there after the fire, the place get cool, and they do the investigation. They didn't do that. President Bwaka immediately concluded that that place was set ablaze by tours or hooligans. Then Gregory Coleman followed right after President Bwaka spoke. He was interviewed, and he narrated the scene story. And they move on forward, they start arresting people or calling people in for questioning. The first thing you saw, 3 truckload of police officer going to South House to have him arrested. He turned himself in and they let him go. Now we're talking about arrest. Look, Mr. So when people come to this place and tell the Liberian people that you have an experienced government, you have an experienced president, only to find out these people are not who they say they are, we should call it for what it is. This is the worst ineptitude I've ever seen. This is the worst I've ever seen. The man who played football with, who played soccer, that knew nothing about politics, didn't go to school, was saying The men were even much more organized than the people who have all the political experience.
Okay, let me hold you there. The house is a crowded house. Look, Mr. Namwit, let me just bring you in this thing. A very sad day for Liberia. We see
Mr. So, I believe that to do a justice here, that the liberal should be called, because I give a seat, and that I'm bike. You can see me here. You can't come out here now to try to put me in a bike. I think it would be very unfair. But of course, it's your show, and you allow. I just want to express myself freely.
That's what we do. We allow people to speak their mind here. I see you. You are back. Your folks finished talking to you after.
I know, right? He's back, reloaded, and ready to fire. You can't even wait.
Yeah, after he called your own phone number and he rang and you went back to think about, after he finished doing he now found answers to me. I'm going to come to you, the liberal to go to. But let me break in Mr. Namwe. Mr. Namwe, look, this is a serious problem. I'm not sure we're going to get people. They got to be very careful. We will not condone people to take laws into their own hand to cause sort of destruction to our country. But when such happens, these things must be properly investigated. I think that's the best thing. But I listened to it. What was the sense of feelings, or what did you get out of that conference today?
Well, thank you, Mr. So, and it's good to be here. Good evening to all of you, my great colleagues and panelists, and also to our audience out there. So I got on pretty late, so I missed some of the stuff. But I'll be honest with you, I really agree with what most of. I came and met Mr. Dr. Malley on, and then Mr. Keto as well. And really, I watched the brief news conference. I really think they would have been better off not doing one at all than what they did, because now they have raised even more questions than answers. I watched the interview. I think most of what the IG was saying should have actually come from the fire chief, because he is the one, I believe, who has the training, to discern and dissect all of the pieces of information that came out of this fire that the IG was trying to give us. The type of smoke, the places where the smoke originated, the accelerant involvement and all of that. I really think those are pieces of information that should have come from the fire expert. He's not a fire expert. He's not. What he should have told us was what he's doing with the investigation, which he did not. You know, he's giving us observation based on what? You know, he has people of interest. Up to now, he doesn't have suspects. And he calls the press conference to tell us what we already knew, that it was fire.
Like, who's that? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, and so I will leave it to the liberal, because I think this is going to be a very difficult task for him. To try to spin this thing, in spite of how many calls he get. So I'll pass the torch to him. But I'm glad to be here.
Thank you, Nabe. Let me just say this very quickly before the owner of the show interrupt again as usual. Let me just say, since you're giving me the platform, I will immediately grab on it and now wait for the host and the co-host to try to interpret what they're giving up their meaning is. So your 2 minutes plus my own 2 minutes, that's 4 minutes. I'm counting the time. Let me just say this here. It's a shame. I have to, one of the things, as Walter Carter was talking tonight, Walter Carter, IE number 9, Breakable, my Esther, I will take them serious from now on, because I need to respond to them from a serious perspective, because these people are continue to, especially Walter Carter, continue to use certain language that are not of good standing in terms of speaking to someone who is the president of the Republic of Liberia, describing someone who is the president of the Republic of Liberia. The reason why I'm going to go all out, because when I was doing this, my comment, and go back and view my video, that I will criticize, but I will do it with responsibility. I will criticize, but I will do so with respect. That is what's lacking from these people that continue to criticize the president. You have the right to criticize, but you must be able to do it with responsibility and respect. Simple. Now let me go down to the line, the question, comment Walter Carter is making. If there's no investigation, and let me go to total English now. When they ain't do investigation, y'all will complain. They do small investigation, y'all say it not right. Where y'all want? You better find pound one tree to sit down and drink a pound one on your sagamore tree and start bothering us. We're doing a good job. We are working. The government of the Republic of Liberia is working on President Waka. Why are you gonna come here after your feet? You die your pound one, you're drinking on your sagamore tree. They're getting ready to take your building away from you. What kind of business is this? Now, let me go back to the serious problem that on here. The investigation. Yes, I do agree with the presentation today. Perhaps it was not done well. I do agree with that. But that does not negate the fact that these people are responsible people. Liberia, let me just remind you, Walter Carter, Liberia is not a banana republic. Liberia is there governed by rule and law in the Republic of Liberia. And so the president delegated people to make certain involvement in this saga. Now, what I don't agree with is the president going on the scene and claiming the entire process, which is, of course, if I was his age, I would do the same thing as my children messing up my house. And so he came in making a statement to say this is unacceptable. I train you better than this, he said. You cannot come in here and try to act like hooligan. Come down that hooligan war now you're going to run away with. They will do an investigation and they will find out what happened. This is not Banana Republic. Just stop those kinds of stuff. Thank you, Mr. Soul.
Okay. Terry?
Yeah, thank you. In as much as I did not agree with the way the body language, because to me the body language sends a wrong signal, like I said, a cue that made me to feel that the guy was afraid and all of that. So I just think that it was not good, but I do not want to blame the president that because the president said that this was a hooliganism act, that means that it is now established that everything the investigation will require under Gregory Coleman is a lie. That means it will go in conformity with what the president says. I think we got to trust our investigation. I even listened to some people, I listened to some people and they said something, they said that international investigators will be preferable. Then when you start doing that now, then it means that you don't have confidence in your police team. And that means every major crisis in the country, you don't trust your security force to handle it because you believe that your security force are all politicized. So then it means that you are running a failed state, because if your security can only investigate somebody stealing from somebody raping somebody, but they cannot investigate a domestic terrorist attempt, they cannot investigate major crisis, you have to call international community, then why are you running a government? So it means that the people do not have confidence in the government. And I don't think that is the case here. I think that there are only a few group of people that are eluding this particular crisis to the president, that because the president made a statement, so blah, blah, blah. But I'm strongly of the conviction that Gregory Coleman is on top of his game. And when this investigation is concluded, I believe there will be no way for us to say that this is a lie. So in my opinion, let's wait and see how the investigation will proceed before we can jump to a conclusion. If to say they arrest somebody that you don't like, the investigation would send this person to court. Gregory Coleman then cannot jail somebody. They cannot put anybody in prison. They don't have that power to do that. The investigation can only give them cues that will lead to persecution. They bring the person and forward them to court. It is the court that will be responsible to convict a criminal. So let's give it a try and let's wait and see what will happen.
Okay, before I bring in Dr. Mali, I think it's also important, and this is established fact. From time to time, history now with President Boyka, the Joseph, the George Weah, the Taylor, the presidency from time to time in Liberia has such extraordinary powers in all sectors of government, not to mention police is no exception. So, and people are talking because, as a matter of fact, we just do not have the capacity. Talking about this sort of situations, it requires some sort of forensic process to be carried out. Like we saw, when you remember when that thing happened, we saw a little, I think, a water bottle, and people are saying, oh, that girl, this and that. Okay. Is there any testing? Do we have any DNA process to determine the hand that went on that bottle? So this is why people are saying you got to call international body for support. And the police chief alluded that this is something that's going to be done. Now, he has not come back to tell us that was the case. He describing the different types of smoke without going into detail what is what and what is what, because more or less he tries to be scientific. And so when he tried to be scientific, then all I thought, me as a free thinker, the next thing I'm going to be seeing fire coming from different places, he could have illustrated that on a PowerPoint or on something to tell you don't expect the listeners or viewer to assume what you are saying. They should flow with you without them seeing it visually. That did
But
not
Mr.
happen. What?
But Mr. So it's not a full conclusion of the investigation yet.
It's not 98%.
Yeah, but he has not first. It's not 8%, but he has not yet arrested any suspect. He's
so
still
why,
this.
So why no one is arrested? Why no one is arrested?
Because the investigation have not been conclusive.
Why no one is in suspect?
So I think, Mr. I agree there are some errors that what Labor said. I want to agree with Labor in that there are some mistakes in the way we. But what I agree with you that international investigation will come in to help and things. You don't know whether if that have already happened and that have taken place. We don't know. But what I'm saying is, if we cannot just put every investigation in the hands of international community. People want international community to come in because they are saying they don't trust the government, not because they want for our sake.
I'm not talking for people. I'm talking about myself because I am seeing more or less this point is more or less scientific because first of all, we have police people there. We have security people that were in control of the building. We have not heard anything as to whether anybody is a potential suspect, who facilitated who. Of course, some police can connive with other civilian, other bad actors out there and commit a crime. So they are not being in uniform. It does not exempt them from being brought into questioning. No one was suspended. We don't know who was the commander. We don't know how many men were there. They didn't tell all where these people passed to enter the building. So where did fire came from? We need to know all of these things. You can just come and watch everything and then.
The man say you have people of interest, Mr. So, and they will be called for investigation.
Okay, good. You're always Dr. Jones. Let me just bring you in.
Yeah, I think there is a pattern here with this government when it comes to investigation. There have always been what I call a normal inconsistency when it comes to investigation, and to some point, some of the investigation become totally inconclusive. The records are there. So even the issue of third party coming in, why are people always calling for third party to come in? Yes, for two reasons. One, our society is stigmatized with dishonest officials. I repeat, our society is stigmatized with dishonest officials to the point where people are 3 times likely to cover up than to provide the real story for the Liberian people. In the first place, you have the national police providing security for this building due to the friction between the groupings in that building. All right. After the fire, they were there when the fire started. After the fire, they were also there to protect the building. All right. Are they going to get themselves into the shadow with reference to the investigation? And this is where now I believe the third party will have to come in to investigate the investigators. Because the problem on the ground now is this. When you talk about arson, like the CEO said, are you going to do fingerprint to know who carried things down there? Are we going to send material outside? Because it's only fingerprint can determine who carried gallon down there, either with gas in it and what have you. You see? So this introduction Today's investigation has even created more problem than the final conclusion of the investigation. There are a possibility they will say, yes, it was an arson, but we're still investigating. We haven't had a corporate yet. There are possibility you hear the kind of language coming from the final report. You see? So my conclusion here is that this was just another taxpayer, wasted taxpayer money, wasted our time, because we expected the final report today. You have 98%. What are you waiting for? You have identified the problem already. Okay? You get people of interest. Okay? Bring them in and let's do the scientific aspect now and match this thing with some level of DNA and get it corporate to say it. Because as far as I'm concerned, people are following the narrative of His Excellency. And that's a normal thing in Africa. It's a normal thing in Africa. When the president has spoken, if you detour or you take the backseat on our speech, that complete political disobedience, you could be punished for that. So everyone now is following the president dictates. I yield.
Okay, Victor.
So, CEO, I listen to Terry. I like Terry a lot when I come on the show. I respect his analysis. But I'm
Liberal, 1 second. Please, Liberal, we are talking national issue. You're not in your bed. Can you sit up straight, please? If you're on your show, you can do that. I won't accept that.
That's a deflated man, CEO. The man is deflated.
I know it's not in your favor tonight, but thank you very much.
So Terry says that there are common mistakes, and why are people calling for international investigators? But I think the conduct of our people alone, this should be a simple, open and closed case. But from the inception of this whole thing, you get the impression they're trying to reverse engineer the solution, and that can be very difficult. I'm sure the Liberal will tell you as an engineer, you don't go in a lab with a solution in hand. When you do that, you struggle. Let the investigation lead you. You come out with your result. But first, the president comes out, like Terry rightly said, without any particular reference to anything, no specific index or anything. He accuses hooligans of setting the fire. Now, his investigators are now trying to find a solution that will fit his description of the situation, which I think is giving them a hard time. You remember in the early days, I think this happened since December 18th. It's almost 20 days or so in now. They still have people of interest. On the day or two following the incident, there were 2 trucks load of people who went to arrest a person of interest, Safoko. Now, I know he made some reckless statements, and I think they should call him for questioning, but on the very, very day following this incident, you thought they already had a suspect in hand. Only for Safoko to be brought in as a person of interest. They said the speaker himself was a person of interest. So you can see how they're struggling here. And that, in my view, has to disqualify their attempts to investigate this matter. Either they are incapable or they are unwilling to follow the facts as the facts are leading them. They want a solution that they cannot find. I think that's where their problem is. They have a solution in hand, and they're trying to find an explanation that will fit that solution, and that's why it's giving them a hard time.
Okay, Keto.
Yeah. So I would just like to speak to Mr. To. I did not disrespect the president. The president is who he is. When somebody used the word inept, it's not an insult. He does not know what he's doing. He has no knowledge, no clue about his presidency. Okay? And there are facts to back what I'm saying. Nobody will call you Mr. To tell you to go and look at a breach, give you a paper and say the breach is okay. And you take that thing to your bosses and say you say the breach okay, or even going to do your check your investigation on that breach to make sure that breach is okay. And how do we call you? We will call you engineer, yeah? No, you have to go and do your work. You got to go on the fee, make sure you do all your study on that breach, and go back and tell your boss, say, yes, the breach is okay or the breach has problem. The president is the president of the Republic of Liberia. When he speaks, he's the last person to speak in the House. When the president come out and make statement on national radio, international wires, for the world to hear, only to find out there are a bunch of bogus statements. Statement like, we got $25 million for scholarship to put 250 students on scholarship to come to America. Only to find out it was a flunky. To talk about yellow machine, to talk about buses, put a picture on bus, then you go stand next to the bus. Only to find out those were all bogus stuff. And you tell me there's a man who has the ability to lead the nation, that every 419 person can come and just wrapping up of Liberian people, the story of President Bouaka because of his age. If he were a younger president, we are, it's a whole
CDC, they're really doing some number on you tonight. Here we go. He's going again.
I'm here. I'm going nowhere. I know you're waving your accounting, but you're not doing anything. No, but on a serious note,
where they can harmonize data.
Yeah, on a serious note, we gotta call a spade a spade. Mr. To and Mr. So and to the rest of the panelists here, our country, we must pray to God hard that the opposition today is a moderate opposition. Very moderate opposition. Because we saw on President George Manuel Weah, these guys were so aggressive that any little thing somebody come out and say, it was a demonstration. It was stone throwing. We saw when you guys went, the United Party people went to NEC office and threw petrol bomb in that office because they said that were not giving the right information on the President Weah administration. This the same people today that say they place. But for me, I'm not believe it's an arsenal, because I think a week before that fire incident, we saw about 3 breakers that caught on fire. The jet spoon generator were there. They saw the breakers on fire, and the people investigated. They said it was electrical problem. They did not solve that problem. They didn't work on it. The next time we saw the whole upper roof of the building, where the gallery return or whatever the name is, on fire. Who knows? It could be electrical. It could be anything. For the president of the nation to come up when nobody told him, or if somebody told you, you should have said, you're going to do your investigation, to come out and make that statement. Everybody falling in line. Greg Coleman cannot go and say, no, chief, this is not the fire. It's not our arsenal. It's not hooliganism. It's electrical. He can't do that again.
So
everybody
Kata, is it fair to say the sort of abrupt intervention by the president, is it commensurate with that of George Weah in the gifty stuff and why or boyfriend, girlfriends, this and that? So they are following the suit of George Weah as well?
Exactly. Let me tell you one thing. And I say on this show, I say on other show, when President Weah made that statement, I felt it was not his place to say that. He was supposed to first extend condolences to the family and then wait for the investigation. When President Weah concluded that the people were doing girlfriend and boyfriend business, any other thing that came out of that investigation, like the result that came out, say they died from carbon monoxide, the country didn't believe it. They ain't gonna believe it. So you see how I make the investigation, even the outcome of the investigation, if it was real, people still do not believe that they died from carbon monoxide. All right. So Mr. Bouaka, President Bouaka, coming now to tell the people, and the fact of the matter, let's say a leader who's supposed to speak moderately, or old man who's supposed to have the greater respect and wisdom, will call his colleagues, those are elected officials, call them hooligans. You are not referring to people on the street that were throwing stones. You're referring to lawmakers, calling them hooligans. Those are people that were voted by their constituencies. Just how he was voted by Liberian people, those people were voted by the people. And he called them hooligans. And Mr. To want to come here and tell me that I'm going to use civilized language. That's a no, Mr. Victor on the turn.
I'm getting-
Somebody saying it's not a civilized language, it's civilized, right?
This is very interesting. I'm getting some messages here from the former government officials. I want to go through it, but let me get, because the Liberal is holding his breath. I think he wants to respond because once it's come from other Ketot, that's something strange. And I want to go back to those messages here. A lot of people were not in the U.S., outside of U.S. Former government officials, they are giving their take, and I want to go to that. But let me get the Liberal reaction.
Mr. So, thank you very much. You know, in this business, nothing surprises me anymore. You, as a host of this platform, will call me out because I tried to rest my bike. You have people on the platform, the only thing we can see is their bald head sometimes, most of the time. The only thing we can see is their bald head. We don't even see their faces. Then you're going to call me out because I try to rest my back. But let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on. They take the camera and put it over there. Hey, you call them up. But I will rest my back a little bit. You call me out on it. That's okay. That's your show. But
So
look,
this man really had no substance to give us tonight. That's why we're going to waste our time. Huh? That's where we're going now. Anyway, Liberals, go ahead.
right, you too, you got boy. Oh,
Your time is running out.
Mr. So, you're not gonna put time on me. This is a sidebar. So please, but let me just say this here, Mr. So. I'm not gonna waste my time with Walter Carter going back and forth. That's okay. Those are his beliefs. But every time he comes out and spew out languages that I feel to be demeaning, whether they're civilized or not, I will call him out and I will push back. Whether on my show or on Mr. Social, it doesn't matter. So I've done that already. That's done. He has to come back and respond. That's okay. But let me just tell you that, Mr. So. The issue here is this. President Bakai's statement that day is a statement that most likely going to derail this investigation. Because no matter how this investigation turns out.
So what was the statement? Please,
well, when he made a statement that they, believing to say that hooligans that done this kinds of stuff when we have not even started the investigation, and I can understand his position. He fell within himself. He's the father of the nation. And these people are fighting over position at the House of Representatives. Does it mean
who created a situation?
Why you think you see this is what I push back. I'm not here as a witness. I'm not on your witness stand. And Dr. Mala is not the judge for you to come and push me around. There's no kumbaya here. I speak my mind. You're gonna let me talk. I'm not here as a witness to come question me as though you're some kind of lawyer, fly by night lawyer that sounds into your practice your law. But let me just say this. Let me just say, this is my belief. Honestly, I felt the president saying to them, "What is this? You know how many dollars people? Because most of these people that were fighting for they were not even born when that building was built." President Baka is aware of the history. That's why he felt so hurt. And when he spoke in the tradition of Liberians as an other spokesperson for the Republic of Liberia, not as president of the Republic of Liberia, as far as I'm concerned. Because if he had done so, if he had gone out to say, I will speak, I will be presidential, most likely he'll say, this is an incident, and we'll let our investigators go into it, and they will investigate. But when he came out and made that statement, I felt within myself. He just felt so bad. What happened to my children? What happened to these people that's supposed to help us for us to guide this country and move on? But let me just say this here. One of the things that they're missing here, Chinese light. That building 3 years ago, the Chinese people are there fixing stuff. The Chinese built the two annex that the Chinese built. And how you see those people supply the lights over there? That Chinese building people think that you're coming to trust and you're coming to charge your children there. They want to go back to China and ask them what the blueprint for your electrical wiring. It was all written in Chinese. The Liberian people can't even read it. What that when y'all coming to kind of arrest people here for? Man, you're from business. You're from something else to talk about, man.
But Mr. So I think the liberal is just reinforcing the point that we're making, that the president, without taking all of what
Victor, you don't have to flow. You don't because if you amplify what I said, speak your own, talk your own. Because if you talk what I talk, then the audience get to know more. No, I just talk impassive. Speak your own.
You're talking. Okay, let me just pick up a little bit impassive from what you just said. Right?
Okay. I mean,
if we're going to say the Chinese built that, then there's even more reason for us to think that this could have been a mechanical fault instead of calling the whoever did it hooligan. It's all I'm trying to say.
Mr. Namwe, you know, this guy is sad. This old man here too, he's another problem on this network.
I know.
They do not have the guts, even when you support somebody for God's sake, for the good of the country. He's still grabbing things here, and there, and nobody gonna give him any life jacket here. He would drown himself, and that's exactly what he has done. So let me go to Aaron.
Give it to your own. You and myself, we're not on the same page tonight. We're not on the same page tonight.
Let me go to Aaron quickly here. I want to get this message out, and we can have a conversation. Time is running out. Aaron, let's go. Good evening. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Thank you, Mr. So. How you guys doing this evening? Yeah. So I'm not going to comment on the statement that the president made when he went to the Capitol building during the day. The building was on fire. But I just want to speak directly to Mr. Toll, my own big brother and Pops. Mr. Toll, just take for a typical example, had this been Patrick Sulu making these kind of, doing these kind of press conferences and stuff like that, you would have had a field day today on your show. You would have had a field day. I remember, Mr. So, you had a whole show by yourself talking about the PADP program. A whole show breaking down that whole program, how blah, 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 blah. Today, every time you come on the show, you start the show, you say a prayer, we trust you, we say, oh yeah, well, Pape, Pape will be honest and stuff like that. So that you can be very, very dishonest, Pape. Let me be frank with you. You can be very, very dishonest to yourself and
no fake prayer.
Jesus Christ.
It was done by Alcin, or this is Alcin, or attack. You gotta prove scientifically how you derive at that. What method that you use? Because you see blue smoke in the air, so you get it as an acid. Is that professional today?
So,
Aaron, press conference even necessary?
So, Aaron, just to make sure, you say you can be what? Dishonest?
He can be very dishonest on the platform sometimes in himself, but he just don't know it. I gotta tell him that today.
Oh, Mr. Toll, right?
Yeah, Mr. Toll, yeah. Okay. He can be very, very dishonest to himself in the platform, saying all that prayers, but then when things go wrong, for him to come and speak the truth, he will try to spin it all the way he want to spin it.
But what he pray then? But
even the very prayer on the show, like he don't be praying.
But besides that, then are you talking about his dishonesty? His own man Clarence. Let's see what Clarence will repeat what he wrote. Clarence, are you there?
Mr. So, I'm here tonight.
Okay, so I want to make sure, because people that use people name here, let me put this one here. Mr. Todd, that being very dishonest. That you wrote that?
I the one wrote it, Mr. So.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Go ahead.
The issue about Liberia, we prioritize other people than the country. That was suffering the country today. We know fully well that we supported the former speaker of Fonati Kofa. If a member of Fonati Kofa group have been alleged to the crime, we should stay for the country instead of being a defensive injecting for somebody else. Because they don't talk about even the government for $1 million or $2 million to repair the money. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. You're talking then the liberal leaving from the screen. That being disrespectful. I brought him.
Yeah, if we using money, the taxpayer money to repair the building, I think that money should be used for another purpose tomorrow to improve the country. But we're talking about calling our committee. Then we are leaving the food of the discussion we are going to. Still getting and said that because you made a statement, you want to bring the children. Nobody bring the children together. You were talking about the fire being committed. If people from the majority group or people from the minority group are part of the crime, they should be investigated. We should not prepare something to how they see the Chevy bleed on President this and that. President made a statement. When Joe Young made that statement, the police came with their investigation and they get a report and then they don't do a lesson in the report. So I don't think that the statement that the president made, it had to make a police director to investigation. Don't know which. Because we are not doing good for our own country.
Okay.
It is wrong.
Thank you so
much. There's a problem about damage. Then we are talking about Oklahoma because I listened to most of the time tonight that people, they are key people that they are big people that to be arrested. Any people go there, be arrested, when they go through the investigation, they are not part of the crime. Most of the people here are seeking. He said you were not invited. So why are we trying to provoke us out of discussion? But when I'm going to come and say, well, better for to bring some of their security experts on their particular discussion instead of so politicians be discussing it tonight.
All right. Thank you so much.
Don't be afraid to say it.
Oh.
Don't be afraid to how can you come out to Mulligan and say, Mr. Tour?
Oh.
I want you to say it. Don't be afraid to say it. I don't listen to what Terry is saying. Don't get a security team because I know for the weather, even the fire service director.
Wow.
To me, you're not competing for that job because you're not telling that like you do the asset thing happening there. You talk about yourself, where yourself.
Okay. Wow.
Be computer, they talk about conservation. So we are putting people in position that they are not qualified for. Thank you for the show.
So Mr. Tobin dishonest, right?
No, I don't know, but he being very dishonest tonight.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Don't let your blood pressure go out. The old man you do You are moving forward. Actually, what were you forgetting? You intro way. Let me bring in Evans here. I want to mean people call in, but Evans, let me just bring you in here quickly here. 1 minute, if you can do that. I want to get this statement out. Go ahead quickly.
All right. Thank you, Mr. So. And hello to the panelists. Look, I will agree with Terry and who was the other person? I think maybe Mr. Toll in a way. That it was just pure unprofessionalism that was displayed by our police director. You know, it's a new word. It's not a new word, but they learned a word for the day. There's a word called ultra-crepidarian. It's a big word, but it's very applicable to this situation. It's somebody who knows something about, knows small thing about something, and they think they're expert in that thing. In this country, when there's a fire matter, you have the fire chief, the people from the fire department, the forensic analysis. They do everything. They understand how fire has started. They take hold of that investigation. You know, so for Mr. Coleman to go up there, Director Coleman to go up there and try to articulate something that he really doesn't have an in-depth knowledge in is an insult to the Liberian people, intelligence. You're not qualified in that place. Why go there and try to pretty much strong arm the fire chief into saying things that you want him to say? And the fact is that they had to have a meeting. Imagine him confessing that they had to go back and talk and then come to an understanding in order for them to come and do the press conference. It's only simply trying to tell us that he put words in that fire chief mouth, like Terry was saying. The guy didn't look confident. He didn't look, convinced as to what he was saying in that press conference. So there's probably some things that they told him behind the scenes to say.
Okay.
So for me, I just want us to wait. If anybody burn that building down, they arrest them, prosecute them. They can be Joe. We are said that they arrest him and prosecute him. But in Malachi, he's sort of intelligent by telling us things that they don't have expertise in. But thank you for taking my call, Mr. Swab. I'll be good.
All right, let's have the last call out. We got to wrap up. 203 number 2578. Let's hear you.
Yes, I know, Mr. So, and hi to all the gentlemen, all the good people on the panel this night.
Good to have you. Let's hear you, buddy. Asare?
Oh, yes. I've been following, and if you look at the entire investigation and the police director coming, the IG coming to give press conference, and according to what Mr. Keto was saying, the same old thing that been said from the beginning. You know, the president fire went on at the Capitol building. President went on the scene. No professional investigation that been, commenced on our site. The president make a remark that people who burn the place are hooligans. And you and I know about Africa. Anything a president says, those guys, the police director, fire service director, are president appointees. What else you expect for them to say? They just have to follow the flow. And so what are people going all around to find out what any other thing that the police director or fire service commander is saying over there, that the water been muddy because the president said things that he does not have proof for. And so for that reason, I don't think anybody would be liable for the Capitol building or situation, because if you start hunting people, it would be a witch hunt.
Thank you so
Let
much.
me just be clear. Anybody that you're going to be holding in our investigation, the people politics, what will you say? Are those people will the two directors, will they say, hey, we will not follow suit of the president? They could lose their job immediately.
Thank you so much.
That's my little contribution. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. I mean, it's all about Liberia. So that's how we're going to end the course here tonight. But like I said, let me read this and we can all use this as a closing argument, closing point. Let me not bring in the argument people here. Closing point. So if you have anything, of course, then we can wrap up. But this is a message from a former government official who worked in many government, retired now, involved in multitudes of roles. Very suddenly we get these messages. Say, Alfonso, the Liberian Fire Service seems not to have experts. For example, the fire chief came to a scene of a major fire outbreak in a safari suit without firefighting gears. This validates what team is just writing here. The proper suit. The police that is supposed to investigate because they have authority over the security of the executive, the legislative, as well as the judiciary grounds, are leading to the investigation. The invention seems to be compromised. The police chief should have removed himself from the investigation because he is conflicted. He announced that the Capitol building was cut off and under the police control. So how the fire happened when the police supposed to be in charge of the area? Secondly, the country should have taken its lesson from President Salih to bring in international investigators, like in the case of the Executive Mansion fire. We can recognize and record that when the Executive Mansion fire incident happened, Samukat, that is former Minister of Defense, then blamed Samuel Doe of neglect of leaving the mansion unattended and unmaintained. He forgot to know that Amos Sawyer, who he worked for, served as police director, Bamang Boss, Sangawolo, Ruth Perry, Charles Taylor, and then Helen Johnson Salif work in the mansion after the murder of Samuel Doe in 1990. So, an international fire commission of investigators was being invited for credibility to this investigation. So, these things are happening. There are people who work in government, who have played their part. They listen to these things when we're having this sort of conversation. So, again, it is what it is. The liberal tonight seems to be one of, I think that little child will be in trouble because you will drink all of those juice and your stomach will be fine and then you go to bed. But look, folks, Terry, with this here.
Mr. So, I need to go first.
No, you don't want to
Mr. So, Mr. So, I need to go first.
I know.
Mr.
Hold on. I know how very uncomfortable you are this evening. That you want to.
All right. Let me go first. Let me make my because I'm trying to take care of a few things. Let me just say this. Gideon bring my juice, but let me just say this here. Let me say they're going to bring my juice. Let me just tell you and your audience. The liberal is not here for kumbaya. I'm not here to come say they want that my friend and that one that my friend. I will talk my own. Because I got mouth to talk and I will say exactly how I see it. So whether the people like me, the people don't like me, because I'm on your show, the way you portray me. First of all, you accuse me of wearing George Mia t-shirt when I came on. That's already made me some sort of pariah tonight here on your show. That's the first thing. The second thing you said, why are you sitting down in the chair that you got to respect? That make the audience to feel that I am not here as a serious person tonight. But let me just say this here to you and the audience. I love you all. This is what we do. If you cannot take the criticism, then you don't belong here. If you cannot take the like of my own little brother, Clarence to come say, Mr. Toll, you are dishonest tonight, then you don't belong here. Because I come out here with sincerity. You have the right to disagree with me, but I stand my ground. I am not going to be moved by any sentimental problem or whatever. Nobody going to move me. I'm Blaku. My hair ain't fading you more. You ain't fading my more. Where you at say? I'm Blaku. You can't move me. Mr. So, it's a wonderful, wonderful show. We'll be back here again tomorrow. Then we'll talk the same thing I said, and I will say again. President Bakai's statement, I stand by that. Because as father of 7 children myself, I feel sometimes that yes, indeed, when they do something, I have to say it. And the president was just speaking as a father of the nation. He felt embarrassed. He felt deflected for these people, for money business, for power business. They're going to come and burn down a building, which President Baka is quite familiar with the history. Many of the people that are talking at one day, they don't know how the Capitol building was built. They don't even know what the cornerstone of the Capitol building was. So the president was speaking from that perspective. And I stand by Chinese people build it. Let's go investigate it, Chinese. I stand by that. Good night, Mr. So.
No, that would be unfair to your analysts if you leave, but that's a very dishonest and disgusting saying that he embarrassed. Why would he be embarrassed with something that he himself created to get us to be where we are in the
Talk your own. I finished talking my own.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Okay. Victor?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. So I was muted. I'm trying not to disturb the liberal. I think he's having a very difficult time on the show tonight, and I really feel bad for him. But he said I'm gonna talk my own, so I'll leave. I'll leave. but it was a great discussion.
The man don't come on 2-3 months we see, then he say, "If you didn't sorry for me."
Nah, look at. But quite frankly, when I listened to the police director today, I thought for a moment we're in the Vatican, trying to see whether the bishops are being, like that, because we're talking about smoke, black smoke and blue smoke and white smoke and all of that. So but we're hoping that they will do their job and do it more seriously. What we saw today, was not encouraging at all. That's a very serious incident. I agree with the liberal. I mean, the Capitol building, one of the iconic buildings in our country. There's a lot of sentiments, it's sentimental, structure fixture in Liberia. For it to have been, burned down the way, it did, it really it disturbed a lot of us. And I read one of the comments, which I agree with. I think within 2 days, the majority group came up with an estimate right away, as if to say they already had an estimate in hand. And talking about people of interest, I thought they would also be, called in for questioning. $1.8 million. That's what they put out.
Yeah.
How did they come up with this estimate? So quickly. But I
besides that, Mr. Number, who are those people? Who are the engineers, contractor that they carry and presented that?
Tell me about it. Mr. So if we're looking for people of interest, I thought we'll be looking at them as well. How did they come up with the thing so quickly? Did they already have it prepared, sitting down somewhere waiting for this thing to happen? I don't know. I'm not, an investigator, but we're really appealing to them to do the best they can and get to the bottom of this. But more importantly, we're hoping that this impasse at the Capitol building, would have been resolved quickly. I was reading today, I think, Chairman Musa Ability, that's my CPP chairman. So when I call him chairman, Mr. So don't be disturbed by that.
Say 1%. That's my 1%.
I told you before, right? The current president won by less than 20,000 votes, which percentage-wise is 1.2%. He's a 1%. All right, we'll do that for another show. But just like the CPP was at 1%, the president won by 1%. You know that the difference between you.
We need to investigate why Prince Johnson did not allow Prince Johnson to lie in state. I mean, the politics of Liberia is deep. Terry, any vision on that? Do you think these are all plot not to allow Prince Johnson to go lie in state at a return of?
The thing, he was one of the best friends of this government.
So why will you go down that rabbit hole? Why would you allow LPR to go down this route?
This is not strange. This is just a attitude.
Prince Johnson.
No, listen. I can't tell you, you're gonna say. Sam saying this is Liberia's issues. People are looking in every aspect sensitive. So people writing, we've got to respect the view. Does that mean we should sanction people? Why this guy who been a senator for how many years? All of a sudden, we know that he's supposed to be lying in state. People created unnecessary drama.
They can take him to the what's the building next door there? The city hall. They can still take him to the city hall. Doesn't matter.
You see the old man? Wow.
But Mr. So,
let Victor finish with your point, then I'll come to you. Let's go one at a time. Mr. Number, finish your point, please.
No, Mr. So, thank you. I'm done. I will yield the floor. I'm just really feeling bad for the liberal. That's how I'm ending. Thank you.
You got to rub that one in. I will get you. I will catch you. Don't worry. I will catch you.
Nobody fight you. Terry, go ahead.
Yeah, I think Prince Johnson, in as much as he was a political figure, but he was not a good, he was not a man of moral character that deserved to be buried in that life.
Wow.
Yeah, so I can be honest with that and tell you straight off the bat, somebody who were killing people because
and that's a pastor judging another person.
No, I'm not judging.
Another pastor.
I'm not judging.
I know, right?
Judgment. I believe Prince Johnson's soul could be in heaven. That is judgment. That is judgment have to do with eternal security. I don't have the power to do that. I'm talking from our perspective and cultural perspective. Or Prince Johnson himself said it, that the gun that liberates should not rule. So, but let move on with that because the history is there. It's obvious and it's precise for Prince Johnson to be buried in his hometown. And I believe he would love to be buried there. But for historical purposes, given the fact of everything that transpired in the country under Prince Johnson leadership, I don't think his burial to that place would be precise. But however, a level with Liberian government. Mr. So, this thing that we're talking here is very important. Very, very important because you see the CDC propaganda tree trend is that, or let's say, I would not say the CDC, because CDC itself is weak. I can't even hear about the animal. The last time I hear, they say somebody was saying something. I don't even know what they were saying. They got, or they expel somebody. The next day, the other person said, no, we didn't expel the person. So I don't know if they still
Well, the person who's supposed to say something all dancing all night.
So I don't know if they're still a political party or they fly by night. I don't know, but wherever they are, they still exist. But what I'm saying is the opposition, all right, is trying to present this propaganda ahead of the police investigation. That just in case, because everybody know obviously have something in their chest that, and there is a fear. I can tell you for sure. Most of the people who supported Honorable Kofa is afraid because within their heart, deep down, they've got some sense of fear that Honorable Kofa might have been tied to this thing. So there is a propaganda that they have created already. They laid the nest in the water already because they hope it will catch. That the government will fall in that propaganda and go and start to target these people. So they want to create the sentiment from the public so that the public can rise and say it was a witch hunt. And that is a good thing. That is what happened in a political terrain. If you don't understand the political strategies and diagram, you will fall in the trap. But at the end of the day, I hope and pray that Gregory Coleman will do the needful to bring whosoever that is found guilty of these allegations, to justice so that they can go to court and pay for the crime. In as much as we can all speculate here tonight and pretend like we pretend like to say, oh yeah, it was an electrical default. We don't have the right security people and we need this other investigation. We can pretend and act like to say we don't know. It's fine. But at the end of the day, it will down on the Liberian people tomorrow. You see what happened in Lofa? People burning, they're burning the court. So that means the burning now continue. It's just going to be continued. That's why I told Gregory, I told somebody, I said, if Gregory do not deal with this thing, this will be his first major challenge, that he must sufficiently deal with it and get to the bottom of it, regardless the noise in the market, regardless what people say, because he's trying to also build a legacy for himself as a police RG. So he must not miss this, because if he misses this, the level of crime that will continue, that will flow after this, will be very severe. So he should not follow public sentiment and fail to do the needful. Thank you very much, Mr. Sir.
Okay, we all read it. Ketal, I see you, and then Dr. Malo was saying.
Let me tell you something, Terry. Gregory will not do nothing in this case. This case is a complete flat. The fact of the matter, they are looking for scapegoat. You understand? The electrical problem. It just could have been an electrical problem. That place is old. The return of oil was going on a renovation, and the whole nine yard. We see people houses getting, catching on fire. The speaker house, with the kind of money folk Fanatico has, a house caught on fire the last time and burned. So you want to tell me that somebody set the house on fire? It was electrical. All right. So I don't think he built a house with cheap wire.
I don't mean to interrupt, but we were blessed that if the fire that happened to Kufa house, if it had been this time, people were going to wrap it around the majority block.
Yeah, but at the end of the day,
Kufa did not make. He's meant fighting for redemption. Don't mind him. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we see this thing happening. Instead of the president relaxing and telling the Liberian people they will investigate the fire incident at the capital, he concluded the same way with the executive mansion when the 4th floor got on fire. Ellen Johnson said the government said it was the opposition. They accused CDC. When they did the investigation, come to find out it was electrical. So the Unity Party government has a pattern. They lie. All right, they shift blame on everybody, and this president is noted for shifting blame without substance. You don't want to take good credit But when it comes to the other side, he don't want to take. He don't want to be part of it, and you can't do that. You got to go with the bad, the ugly, and the good. This is leadership. You're dealing with a group of people that some of them their head not too correct, some of their hair correct, some of their hair semi-correct. So at the end of the day, you got to deal with the bad, the good, and the ugly, and move the country forward. Stop playing. They playing the blame game. And Mr. Tool, tonight you're in a bad shape.
He will not allow you on a program tomorrow. Trust me.
Labor is enjoying what I've been enjoying for over the weeks. What Labor enjoying and what I've been enjoying. The comments, the condemnation. So then he sit in the chair and enjoy.
So we are about to go home. The only thing we can take away from now this evening is the independent voices.
Yeah,
They are there to restore hope in the Liberian people because they speak the truth. It doesn't matter who feels whatever, but the independent, they look at the case, they look at the situation.
Where?
I told you I'm disrupting.
Okay.
Is that Bishop Dr. Jones over there?
I just told you.
Yes, Keto. I don't know. You've been wearing your glasses for so long on this platform. I don't know.
I see the
he was one of those that went with Kofa to the Vatican, and they gave him that chain.
Okay, so Dr. Jones, I think you are properly tonight after Tabata coming from the Liberal.
After Dr. Jones, then I will close it.
Oh no, you don't. You're closing. How many times are you gonna close? Tomorrow you close. Not tonight. If Dr. Jones finish, c'est finito. C'est finito. So, Dr. Jones, let's hear you. Look, what are we going to get out of this? The investigations, everything is already contaminated. It's been, they have tampered with it, and Keto, I think, put it in the rear. They are just trying to get somebody to use as a scapegoat. And these people, they got to be very, very careful. And that's what the same person was telling me. There's no price of loyalty in a country. It's not like before. But we saw that happening with the case of Roosevelt Johnson, Charles Taylor, who's the other person, and many other people, because these people, and even the Prince Johnson, because people felt that these people, they were, whether we agree with them or not, but there was some specific thing they believe in, they were standing for them. We saw what happened April 6th when Taylor tries to arrest Roosevelt Johnson, and that's a scapegoat. I'm saying this because we have followed the patterns. These people are trying to find scapegoat to just bring other people. Joseph Biker does not have any group to pay that sort of price of loyalty. That country is inking. If you see the society, you see the people. So if they just think where you have only less than 3,000 police people and you think they is sufficient, they got to come to their senses. They need to stop what they are doing. They know who did that. They need to find them. They should start pulling things here. Their police, after investigation, 98%. Then you say, oh, if the people not come, we'll go arrest them. Are you kidding me? Like a boss scout. Dr. June, let's hear you.
Well, I think it's quite unfortunate that when the fire chief, who is responsible to investigate this thing, to invite the police director, it rather went the other way around, the police director inviting him. That's sad. And the police director even dominating the discussion when the fire chief should have taken over to dominate the discussion, you see. But in every given circumstance, both the fire chief and the police director has already created a monkey wrench. And the monkey wrench here is that they have put in place a premise that they observed this thing was arson. They can't come back to us again and tell us, oh, we made a mistake. It was some electrical thing. They can't do that. I'm telling you. They said it will be on fire. So it was sad. It was waste of time. They should have come with a comprehensive report today to the Liberian people. But once they have laid a premise that they observed this thing was an arson, then a corporate got to come forward. They got to bring the corporate by any means possible, right? And the next thing here is the president's statement. Well, if we go down into history, I realize that an extreme aging leader or president
What is this?
often make statements.
Control, this is unacceptable.
No, but Mr. Soul, why were you letting him use an extreme aging? What gift is he a human? Does he study human society? I mean, human being now? Is he a medical doctor?
Oh, see, okay.
You gotta call him on that.
Liberals, we don't do that.
Okay, go ahead.
It is proven, record has proven from Robert Mugabe.
You see where we're going?
Mobutu Sese Seko, who decided to keep themselves in power for their lifetime, but unfortunately, an extreme age condition allowed them to make unusual statements, to make statements that were very provocative, to make statements that helped to even indict themselves. So this is what an extreme aging leaders can do.
Go ahead, Dr. John. You gotta explain yourself. Everybody know. Let him enter it. Let him attention. Go ahead.
We should expect more strange statements to come between now and the next 5 years.
That's right.
A year.
Yeah, Mr. Soul.
Okay.
This Mr. Soul, if you don't mind. You're
not.
How many times y'all made a woman say, you go look for your stay if you want to steal, make sure you steal the money good. That's what I'm saying. The man go to the Capitol building again. Is it that that's what I'm saying. How many mistakes y'all make now?
When the president went to Lofa County,
exactly,
and make a deliverable,
I tell the man say you.
No.
He is.
I'm a co-host. We have reserved time. When the president went to Lofa County,
the last time I checked, you were fire.
And make a deliverables, the executive mansion came in quickly to make amendments. When the president spoke about hooligans, up to now the executive mansion is still in slumber. They haven't made amendment yet. But I attribute that to an extreme aging condition.
Good night, Mr. Soul. Are we going to listen to that again, Mr. Soul? Is that the kind of language you want me to take to bed tonight? With this, I will have to respond, Mr. Soul. You know, Mr. Soul, I will have to respond.
No.
Mr. Soul, I will have to respond.
I will table that for Friday. We can already get this conversation. The conversation has come to an end. It's 10:17 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Look, liberal, chill out. We are talking about Liberia. I don't know why. You see, Terry is cool.
Yeah, but when you say Liberia, but when you bring the father of the nation to this position, then we have to push back.
Who father?
We have to push back.
Who father?
We have to push back. What Dr. Mane is doing
no.
Dr. Mane is reducing the Liberian people who voted for this government. He's reducing them as though they have no eyes or no right to vote anybody. This is unacceptable.
That's your understanding. That's not what he's saying. He's just telling us the reality that exists, and we need to recognize that. You saw Joe Biden. You see, that's the problem with your Liberian people. When every little thing get under your skin. Why you think Joe Biden was removed from the stage and brought in This lady.
Joe
because-
Biden went out by himself. He told the people, I can't make it anymore. Y'all go ahead.
No, there was a precursor. There was an antecedent. There was something else. So when people read at that level, nobody is not an insult. So, but except you people don't want to recognize that all of us. You think the way you used to run 2, 3, 4 years ago, you can do it?
Joe Biden went out kicking and screaming. He didn't go out by himself. In fact, after the debate, he said he went out.
Well, ain't you from New Jersey? Ain't you from Pennsylvania? That you're the one who betrayed us.
That's why I tell you now.
That you're the one betrayed. We were counting on you to be the blue wall, and you give that blue wall to the red people. So you can't say what
CEO.
So,
I think you know that we have a rules now to be governed by rules. But since it seems to be the liberal want to undermine, destroy the rules, I think something has to be done. And moreover, before Robert Mugabe could die, he was according to sources, he was sitting on his porch. His wife came to rub his shoulder, and he turned around to his wife and said, "Oh, Madam President, you are welcome."
But how old was he?
He was over 81.
He know it.
No.
And when you get into
the over 90 years.
I come in now. I say you were E81 when he made that statement.
No.
Hey, listen to me now.
So?
When you in the 80 bracket, you
see what he's trying to do, Terry? He's trying to put this president in that bracket. And we got to push back on those kinds of stuff.
But the president's already there. Nobody put you in there. The man's already there.
Okay, but let me qualify.
Joe Biden is 86.
Listen now. I said when you in the 80 bracket.
Yeah, but that guy is considered a young man.
Yeah,
comparing to all those people you need.
I said.
But then why you keep making all these mistakes?
When you in the 80 bracket, you make strange statements at times.
What kind of statement that President Boyka made that was strange?
The Lofa
other presidents have not made.
Oh, wait a minute now. The Lofa Kante statement.
Is that strange?
Mr. So,
President Weah said that we are all family.
No. I don't want to waste my time on President Weah.
The young boy who is
I don't want to waste my time on President Weah.
But you're talking about statements now.
What I'm saying,
Dr. Mali,
when leaders
please stay in the classroom. Dr. Mali, stay in the classroom. Lead the politics with
this
us.
Is not the statements Joe Biden was making are the statements that you're supposed to be talking that Joseph
I said when you in that bracket
outside of the range. JMB is not in that category.
What JMB age?
JMB is 80 years old. He's not in a category where he's veering off from the reality of what he's discussing.
I said when you are in the 80 bracket.
But you said he's making statements that are strange.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm saying.
The Lofa Kante statement was strange.
They came back and ratified that, they clarified their statement.
That's what we are saying.
The Lofa Kante statement.
It's not strange. Those are statements that political leaders make.
Are you telling me that LPR is not a platform where President Baka is hated? Is that what we come on down to now?
Related to dementia or Alzheimer's?
I said when.
Because those are the sicknesses that older people can get. Dementia or Alzheimer's. As Joe Biden.
So I don't know why you.
I will dance for the president tomorrow. I will dance for the president on the show tomorrow.
And more strange statement will be made. More strange statement will be made by His Excellency in a year to come.
What we are saying, the reality here, and I don't
know
the
why. Reality.
And that's the problem.
That's not reality to you. To us, it's not.
Okay, well,
you're speaking from. In fact, you always say your views are always subjective. Anyway, I don't know why even allow myself
when you move into the territory of extreme age, you say strange things.
That is one war now because I don't like it now. Why you be
there is no strange thing. President Butler.
You now found out that war. I don't like. You can use it.
We encourage those who want to be corrupt.
Good night.
Yeah, thank you.
That's not a
I'm
true
not taking
statement,
you.
Mr. Victor.
What time your show tomorrow? The Liberal?
Those are political
I'm not
statements.
telling you because I'm not inviting you. You come on tomorrow without invitation, you'll be sent to the back.
Why?
No, because I really
But I'm
don't
happy to see
appreciate.
Dr.
CEO,
Mali, man. He
he
looks
had
fresh.
already put me on your blacklist, so I don't
Oh, you
appear
part
on his
forget
show
it.
no
You
more. You
part
know
for
that,
you
right?
part don't even think. Don't even think. Unless
Man,
if you
I
come
think
on.
I got a link only once. I never got it again in my
Oh, but
lifetime.
the CEO will send me the link, Mr. To.
Honorable Victor, I always watch you on the show. There's another
Thank
show
you.
I always watch you on.
Well, the time can be available when one kind of deliver refuses
No,
to
but
send me the link.
what, send me your email. I'll send it to you. I like to engage you.
All right, get my link to Mr. So you will send it to me because I don't trust you. Even if I send you my email, you will send it somewhere else.
You will not do it. That man here forget it. Ketchup, you can see Ketchup on a program. When Ketchup call, you say, I'll give you 2 seconds. Okay, guys, we want to thank you so much for the program. Look,
Thank you. Good night. Victor, I will let Mr. So send you the link tomorrow, please.
I will glad to come on tomorrow. Thank you for the invite. Thank you guys
Don't
very
forget to
much.
send me the link, please.
I'm not sending it to you.
Hey, the celebrity. Hey, the celebrity.
You pa water cutter. that Japanese and Chinese and Korean phone I got for you tomorrow. Don't forget it. You can forget it. You know, exactly Huawei I got for you tomorrow. You can forget it.
That 3 Nation photo.
I see you guys.
Good night, guys.
That 3 Nation put together now. Okay, guys.
Good.
Hey, Mr. McGill, Eric, how you doing? Look, I should be coming around Georgia area to see our man, Mr. Amos George. Hopefully, we can share the number and we can use that time to see. Guys, I want to thank you so much for your time tonight. Look, it's all about Liberia. All of us want our country to succeed. But when it comes to the country conversation, we just need to chill out because, not necessarily things that you want to hear, but they are reality. Until we can learn to face the reality, I think that we'll do well. It's not just only protecting our political base or we are in support of this person. So, sometimes we'll say a thing that you don't want to hear, but and in fact, that's the work of the media to tell you things that you really need to know. But we also understand there are folks who are on these platforms so doing everything possibly they can to protect their own alligators because no matter how it is right to them. That's their own loyalty. That's the price of loyalty they are paying to their people. But is it good? Is it worth it for the country? Absolutely not. I strongly believe that conference today by the police chief raises more questions than answer. You cannot have a coming out to make a pronouncement and 98%, and you can't tell us who are the perpetrators, and you are telling them to come for their persons of interest to come for investigation. If they can't come, you will go arrest them. So what are you saying? It's just confusing. So, like I said, they shouldn't use people as a scapegoat. Their own creation is the one that catching up with them. And that's why, to lie is very difficult. You put it together, some down the road, you fumbled and it's just going to explode. But it is unfortunate that our guys, our colleagues, people of the media, when these people are mounted behind the podium to speak, to address the nation on these critical issues, they're supposed to listen and do a follow-up questions and some of these things that they say. Sadly, that is not happening. They are carrying away these politicians, these people that say anything, and the world scot-free. And forgetting to know it is not just only us as Liberians. They are people, they are different nationalities, people that are residents in the country. They listen to these things. So if the media should stand in the gap of the government, society, and its people would not also do their due diligence and allow themselves to be carried away by these politicians or state actors and say anything and just walk away, leaving the civilians, the ordinary citizens, vulnerable to scramble over the actual thing, that is unfair. You can tell us black smoke of what? What led to that smoke? You need to give a full description. Fire chief telling us something flammable. Okay, what is it? What was that? Who touched it? What is the scientific proof about that? Who have they identified? If they reached 98%, for God's sake, let's be honest. If you reach 98%, then you are convinced. Then you already close in with the case. You already close into whatever you are doing. And for you to come and go turn back to say, oh, you're going to come back again. So what are they fixing? What are they trying to put? What are the pieces they are trying to put together to make a case against whom or where? When they themselves are creators of this. If you have the police that was taking care of that business, in their own words, was locked down, it was sealed up. And we can't hear from the police of one officer that was even suspended or being called in for questioning, or even the commandant who deserted their post, or who is the police officer or security persons on guard could not with outsider to allow people. Where do they enter? How does entry take place? How many persons involved? And they will just leave us empty like that. And they want us to just flow with them without asking these critical questions. I think that is unfair. They need to come clean and tell us what exactly happened. They know what happens, but they are trying to do whatever they can do, because that's the number thing in Liberia. These endless investigations, it will just, at the end of the day, nothing you want to hear. And they want to grab innocent people under the canopy that they are the doers. I think that is unacceptable. Or, bro, this same part of this is this unnecessary drama that was created. Is that a right way to whoever did that to have responded? Absolutely not. But this is to show that our country is on edge. I mean, you listened, a lot of things happening. Wologisi got on fire. Another person today, truck, whatever 12 or whatever truck tire in the car well belt, Samuka town. You know, I mean, too much just going on. And the security is just stressed out. Got to be very, very careful. We went down this road before, and that's not where we want to go.
Diaspora informative news platform Liberia Public Radio LPR presents Freedom Watch with Alfonso Zinso. On Freedom Watch, we hold national leaders, opposition, and the general public accountable for words by asking tough questions in exchange for real-time answers. No one walks away free by providing false information. If it's from LPR and Zinso, it got to be good. Be my guest every Sunday live on LPR-TV from the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV.
Alfonso Zinso for the Liberia Public Radio base in the U.S. I currently visit the entire... Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Well, that's how we want to conclude this event. Until then, by God's willing, we'll be back here in the coming days. So we join the Liberal Progressive and his team, and then Friday, by God's willing, I'm going to be right back here. Same, thank you for jumping in here tonight. I'm going to send you a message. Day 2025, we want to see you here. That's the agreement. Marie, good evening. Good to have you here this evening. Joyce as well. James Colley, Amadou, thank you so much. Folks, have a pleasant evening, and we will see you by God's willing. Bye-bye.